So this presentation was about kitchen ventilation as an indoor air quality protection from pollutants that are generated during cooking. Yeah, we were somewhat surprised about just how variable the performance of kitchen range hoods is installed in homes. So kitchen range hoods installed in homes performed, had a much more variable performance than what we had imagined. We sort of expected to see that some of the airflows were not what the ratings were, the product ratings would suggest they should be, but some cases the airflows were so low that it was surprising, and in some cases the capture efficiency was so low that it surprised us. The other piece that was surprising was seeing how different the capture efficiency in some cases can be for particles versus the gases. It's not something that we didn't imagine could happen, but in some cases it was surprising that it was as large as it was. And in other cases we were pleasantly surprised that there was very good agreement. So the first thing to do, I think, is to try to figure out if you have a venting kitchen exhaust. If you have a range hood, you have a device above your cook stove, your cooktop. Very often people will have a cabinet above that, whether it's a microwave or whether it's a range hood. If you open the cabinet, sometimes you'll be able to see that there's a piece of ductwork there going up, or sometimes you can look on the outside of the house and you'll see a vent right behind where the range hood or the microwave is. That's a good signal that you have a venting hood. By contrast, there's something called a recirculating hood where the air gets sucked up into the device and blown back to the kitchen. So if you have a microwave or a range hood that has a little grill in the front and you turn it on, if you feel air being pushed out through that grill in the front of the device, that's a pretty good indication it's a recirculating one. So that's the first thing, is figure out if you have a venting one or not. If you don't have a venting one, put it on your to-do list. If you have a venting hood, certainly the first thing to do is just start using it. Use it every time you cook. Get into the habit that before you turn the stove on, you're going to turn that range hood on or that microwave on, the exhaust part of the microwave, and use the highest setting that you're comfortable with. If it's very noisy on high, but medium's okay, use medium. If all you can use is low, in order to have a conversation, use low. It still will help. So see if you have a venting hood, use it every time you cook, get into that habit. The more cooking you're doing, probably the higher flow rate you're going to want to use. Leave it on for a few minutes after you finish cooking is also a helpful thing. If you're buying a range hood, then you want to try to find one that moves at least 200 cubic feet per minute. And pay attention to the sound ratings, something called zones. So a lot of hoods you can get information from the manufacturer. If they have, you can get the airflow in CFM, so make sure it's at least 200 CFM. And try to find one that has a quiet setting. Ideally, it has 200 CFM at less than 3 zone. Sometimes it might be 150 CFM at 3 zone for a medium setting. That's pretty good. If you don't have a venting range hood, then you can still open a window or turn on another exhaust fan when you cook. So maybe you have a bathroom exhaust fan or a window in your kitchen, or both of those things will still help to vent the exhaust when you're cooking. Almost every range hood that's installed that we've seen is more effective when the cooking happens on the back burners. So that's something that if you have a venting range hood, turn it on and cook on the back burners, and that device that's already installed in your home will be much more effective. Please cook. Cooking is wonderful. I cook myself. I'm not in any way discouraging people from cooking. I want to encourage people to cook. Good cook. If you like electric, cook with electric. If you like gas, cook with gas. But just use your venting range hood to get those pollutants and other fumes out of your house.